I'm ready.
What is up, people? Hello, and welcome back to the Cup Chasers podcast. Yes, welcome back to the channel for the final show of this year. 2025 has come to a close. Hold on one second. Some audio difficulties. Yes, 2025 has come to a close, and we've had a good one. Of course, it's been a crazy year in the Premier League. And it's been a crazy couple of days in the Premier League. Of course, I hope everyone has had a wonderful Christmas. Hope you're looking forward to the new year. We certainly are. Of course, my man Nez is here in the building tonight. And go ahead and get the likes up for us. Hype it up if you got any of those left. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Of course, thanks for being here. And tell us what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what 2026 has in store for you in the comments down below. Nez, how you doing?
It is a wonderful time of the year. Is that what they say on the TV shows? A lot of football there. A lot of festive stuff. Super excited. I probably get super excited about everything, man. Good to be here. Good to see you all.
Excellent. Yes, sir. Absolutely a lot of action going on in the league. Lots of stuff to get into. We're talking Arsenal, of course. We'll be talking Man City as well. I think that's a good place to start. I like chronology. I like to work our way backwards. We'll go all the way back to the Man City Forest game. Kind of a tough one in the end, but the Shirky Show, once again. How are we feeling?
I mean, the thing about it is when you go away to another place, you have to put in some work, and then it was an interesting lineup, because with again with Doku being out, you kind of figure like what are they gonna do for that, and I think everything sort of sorted itself out pretty well. Shirky showed his value, and he's very instrumental in what we do. People will talk about Kevin, but this guy is obviously different. I mean, he's a different kind of player, and that's good. So he's creating his own path. Reinders, who I don't think I ever blasted, but I was like, hey, he needs to score, and he's starting to get his goals, and he's become a lot more consistent. People want him to be Gundogan 2.0, but he's Reinders 1.0, and so we let him be who he is. It was interesting for me in this game when Savinho came on, because you know how I feel. I mean, he really didn't do anything when he came on, but it was the bench was so thin though. Like there was literally very few attacking options on the bench. So, I mean, this makes it a part of what he needs to be, and it kind of went from there. Foden didn't really have like a great game, and Holland was there, but he didn't have a good one. But the energy and enthusiasm of the team was there, and it's exciting because the thing that's actually, I know it was in the rumors and stuff, and I guess this kind of leads into Thursday, is about with the sort of lack of depth for the bench attacking line, the rumors about Semenyo coming in to play for City, it matter, because apparently, according to trust me, bro, he may be in the lineup on Thursday, right? Because I mean, the bench was like, for attacking wise, looking at the bench here, I mean, the defensive side was fine. I mean, Rodri made the bench, which was good, but I mean, hopefully people have those realistic expectations that he's no longer Rodri, because we don't know. Yeah, but then you have Kuzanov, Rico, and then Savinho. That's it. That's the bench. I mean, there was some academy guys, but that's all that's on the bench. So that matters. And with AFCON going on, and the players that play for the team.
Is it injuries, or is the squad actually that thin?
No, they're all gone. It's because you have to look. I mean, Stones is out, but again, there's like no attacking players because Doku is injured, Bob is injured.
Okay, yeah.
Kova's not back until next year, which is in like a couple days, but it's still
And
later in January.
Marmouche is at
But Marmouche is the
AFCON.
other one, yeah. And so you normally have Bob, Marmouche, and Doku, and two of those three are injured. One is out on international play, and as their teams advance, they will continue to be out. So you have to just kind of let that be, and they'll very likely get a rest. But adding Semenyo adds something because what City was lacking, even though Savinho exists on the team, was wing depth. And so, even though watching the Chelsea game today, I mean, Semenyo wasn't like amazing. He was instrumental in the goals they scored. I mean, he had the long throw that connected to that, but we'll cover that at another point. But he'll add something different if it is true that he comes in. But I mean, I was satisfied with the result. Forest played tough at home as they should, and it was their forward line was giving City some issues early in the game, and then once City got like settled, they 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 kind of took control of the game. Shirky did what he needed to do, and then it was just a matter of stabilizing and going from there. But 3 points, 3 points, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I feel like Forest have been a little bit on the ascendancy. Having some better performances. I'm not going to say they're very scared about the drop at the moment because of the way West Ham and Burnley are playing. We won't mention the Wolves. I mean, I guess we can mention them for a second because we like to laugh at Manchester United. But other than that, yeah, Forest, I think they're going to be all right. I think they're going to be all right for sure. Scored a good goal, so they definitely got that in them. But yeah, it's worrying me. Shirky is worrying me. Holland's form, like with all the noise around Arsenal and the Maresca stuff, there's a lot of noise around Chelsea this season. Obviously, a lot of stuff going on around Liverpool. Erling Holland is still having an incredible season.
Yes,
He's on
yes,
pace to break his own record again.
yes. Quietly, yeah. Well, as
Yeah.
quiet as you can call it, but yes, quietly.
Well, I mean, yeah, because like I say, all the spotlight is on Arsenal right now. You guys are just doing what you do and saying, yeah, well, whatever. And is it? I don't want to say is it standards FC, but if you look at Pep Guardiola and the fact that he does have standards through the roof, obviously, I personally thought it was kind of funny the whole "you better not come back a pound overweight or you'll stay in Manchester" stuff. I thought that was pretty funny. What do you think of kind of a sidebar? But what do you think of Erling Haaland's kind of willingness to participate in all the social media stuff? Like he
Oh, it
went
was
out
great.
for Halloween and he dressed up as Santa and all this stuff. He's
Yeah,
always in the tweets and the banter.
Well, but I think it's fun. I think it's sort of a humanization because you get to kind of control the narrative on fun stuff, and they don't. I mean, he's obviously been informed, so you can play around with that. I mean, I know when the comments came out about the weight thing, Shirky came out and had a social media post of him riding the exercise bike, and that was a thing before because he was fat, and then I mean, obviously you did see him lose tons of weight from when
Yeah.
he came into to where he is now, and the memes about Donnarumma potentially being overweight because Italian, I guess, people eat or something. I don't know what the running joke is on that.
It's the
So
pasta, right?
I guess, I mean, if that's what they eat for Christmas, I don't know the answer to that one. But I thought it was good. I think everybody had a joke. Pep had a joke for it. And I mean, but I think that's maintaining a standard, right? You want the guys to stay in shape, and it was whatever it was in the place of like kind of recognizing that people are doing what's necessary to be the best version of themselves, and the coach saying to the team, "Hey, this is what I require of you." And okay, maybe it might be a shot at this person or that person, but it's I think they all know everything that essentially will come out uh, in the beginning before he says it. So it's not like they were taken aback about the
Right.
standard. I think it was just more of the media saying, "Oh, is he trying to point at so and so?" Which is why I think they all kind of had a joke because Holland had a joke about him making weight, and Cherky obviously did what he did. So I think if your stars buy into those things, I think it makes it a little more fun because it makes a serious thing, a little lighter, and letting people
Mhm.
know that yes, this guy runs a tight ship, but we're about it, so we're about that life too. We connect to it.
Well, speaking of tight ships and maybe I don't know if Pep's Pep, what's going on with Pep and the cameramen? The cameramen are trying to get the production tight and get up tight up in on Pep, and he's not having it. What's up? You saw the thing I sent to you in the group
Well, yeah,
about
he's done
that?
that. He's done that 2 or 3 times recently. I think. I mean, but if you remember, like the early days there, he didn't really love being around the cameras and doing interviews, uh and there's always a comment about his awareness uh of like the cameras and what he says. I think he's sort of a controlled chaos guy, so he'll do the talks and he'll do the media stuff, but under his terms. So it makes him insane like every other manager in that kind of position. So that happened a couple times, and I think it's just about the awareness, and I think they catch him in the rawness of moments sometimes, but I also think he plays it up. I think it's a mix, and it's it's funny because he knows what the narrative is about him, and so he kind of plays around with it, but he does his European, oh, you're over dramatic thing, and then he goes to clap for the fans and stuff. But I mean, I also think sometimes, and you see him because he's so animated on the sideline, where he gets super animated because he's in like the moment. So
When
he,
he scratches his own head.
right. And so you look at that and you say, well, he's in the moment. So, he probably, doesn't even recognize it. But then his awareness of, oh, they're there. Fine. You got me, whatever. But,
My
it's no thing.
my favorite bit was he was like gesticulating like this as if to say, "Referee, come give this man a yellow card. He's in my way. Foul."
Right. Right. Just
I was like, "Who are you doing that to? Like, the game's over."
well, and I think it's in addition to that, I think it's a part of sort of the gamesmanship that as much as City supporters may dislike hearing it, but others, team supporters hearing it, it's a winding down too. I think they get tired of those things, and you're like, I really don't feel like dealing with this. I'm like, I don't feel like dealing with this. I'm because I think he has next season is his little contract to last season, and
Technically, yeah.
well, I mean, when he was spoken at press conference, he said 2 seasons, so I think he counts it as
Sure.
next season too.
Yep.
And it's trying to get the most out of stuff, but it's also not loving to do press. I mean, he's had probably 3 press conferences where he's answered like 4 questions and he was out. So, I mean,
Wasn't there a one question one a couple of
yeah,
seasons
and that's what
back?
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like he does. It's the Marshawn Lynch, of why I'm here, right? I'm here. I'm here. But
No, it's the what was the coach of the Boston Celtics a few years ago where they'd be like, "Coach, you guys are really poor from the perimeter today," and he'd go, "Yep, we sure were."
oh, that wasn't Brad Stevens. It's Joe Mazzulla. It's their coach now. Like he does that
He
still.
still does
He
that. Yeah,
still
it's
does
the,
that.
it's the same guy where it's like,
Yeah.
Coach, your 3-point shooting just wasn't good enough. You're 100% right,
Yep. Yep.
and that's all he says. Yep, 100%. Yep.
Well, it's funny because I was watching ESPN FC, and I think it's Jules. I'm not sure if I think he's Dutch, the Dutch guy, but he was like, "Hey, man," they asked him about because he's been covering the last couple of City games, and he said, well, what I've learned with City is you have to be sharp. It's not the first question with Pep is the second one because if you ask a bad first one, he's gonna kill you on that second one. And so, I think it's a part of the thing where a lot of these guys get asked a lot of questions. So there's an edginess that kind of is connected to them where they know they don't want to do it anyways. There's nothing they really can tell you, because why would we tell you strategy and stuff before and go from there? It's similar to like when um what is the Emery, when Emery was talking about
Emery,
Arsenal. I
yeah.
mean, all the comments was like he hates Arsenal so much. I mean, he might hate Arsenal, but you kind of talk the way you talk, and because there was a quick turnaround since you last played them. It was probably what, 5 games ago. It wasn't that long ago you played
Yeah,
them.
so in this Christmas period, every single so this fixture this week is the reverse of the fixture from a month ago.
Right. It was
For,
pretty
for
big.
everyone, for
Yeah.
everyone. So
Yeah.
when you played Sunderland at home, you beat Sunderland at home. We lost to Villa that day.
Right. Right. Right.
And Chelsea drew Bournemouth that weekend. And now fast forward, Chelsea have drawn Bournemouth again. We've beaten Villa, and you still have to play Sunderland. But it's
Right.
the opposite fixture, right?
Right. Right.
And so every team had to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's an interesting thing. So I think managers and pressers, you do, there's 38 games. You do minimum 38, then some middle ones. So you're probably doing anywhere from 50 to 60 of these.
Yeah.
E- and you're paying the same team, twice minimum. So I mean, what can you say but so many times, because you're going to answer the stuff about the first time, your form, what the other team is, and then the second time it's your form, where you are, and the result last time, and injuries, and then obviously just maybe some contract stuff thrown in there. And you're like, man, I already talked about this. What do I have, right? And
Well,
so
let me ask you a question on this one. Where does the responsibility not necessarily lie with the journalists? So, for example, some of the teams will actually, and this I've only discovered this because of how much content I watch, right? Some of the teams will let a single YouTuber into the presser, right?
mhm.
Some of them, not all of them. And sometimes they'll let that YouTuber ask the manager a question. For example, Cecil with AFTV got into the Arsenal presser and was allowed to ask Arteta a question. It was a really stupid question. And so he hasn't been allowed back. But my point being is, you're talking about how they have to answer the same questions over and over again. It's the same stuff. Well, can't the journalists maybe come up with a more of an interesting question? Like you said, if you ask Pep a dumb question, your follow-up question, you're gonna get made fun of.
I think, I mean, I'm not gonna necessarily call the people um I'm talking about the journalists. I don't really know that level, because professionally, I have no experience there to understand what their practice is. But I do watch enough of press conferences to see sometimes the people don't show up prepared, and they ask the same questions. And the thing is that obviously I would assume whatever media their property they're a part of, they're supposed to ask something that is connected to the media and the upcoming event. But then it's about, okay, well, what else do you have? And so a lot of times it's speculation about something that may be close to the team or an event at the time. But in many cases, I think you do have to ask out of the box questions, maybe about either the manager themselves or the organization, that freshens things to give a different perspective. It's why occasionally when they let children interview adults in sports stuff, it's always something good in most. Well, it's usually something good in most cases, because the kid is just asking a very innocent question that's they're not used to answering, and so you get sort of a refreshing presence from the person, because they know that the motive behind the young person asking the question is completely pure, and so it makes it
Yeah.
more fun. But yeah, the journals can do better, and I think I'm gonna assume they want to do better. But I also think it's sometimes where you're like, is that going to get me a click? So, for example, um, uh, in Arsenal's game, all right, you guys won, just to use an example, and say you got to use the guy from AFTV, and he asked something about the League Cup. Well, that might be out of place, but you can say maybe Arteta's experience of when he made a cup run, something along those lines. I think would be interesting to connect to the history of the person, where then they can draw from a different mentality, because they go in there kind of lined up. Oh, okay, well, these are the things I'm going to say. Like they already have like talking points when they go in
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So if you can go off of the talking points, I think it makes, and it's something that either makes them be introspective or something that might be connected to their happiness. I think do it. Why not? And I mean, the Champions League, they in the Champions League, you actually see that more when they do the presses for the Champions League, because that normally there's a player there, and then they
Yeah.
just, a lot
Yeah.
of times the questions are a little more random, because the in the especially in the group stages, you don't there's an unfamiliarity with talking to who the person is. There's sometimes a language thing, so maybe take that in consideration. But because I think it's a great opportunity to get some perspective and shine a light on stuff like, for example, we're talking about the way teams and the management handle injuries. I mean, but
Right.
you're like, how can I ask that question in a creative way, where I don't necessarily meet the ire of the manager,
Right.
but I also give a perspective that's different. So for example, with Doku out, I think and we already know Pep doesn't answer questions about players that are not on his team. His literal answer every time is he's a player for another team, so I can't tell you anything, which is absolutely correct, because you shouldn't. But I mean, if somebody said, hey, uh, there's a lot, you're short on wingers, and you have some injuries. Savinho is good. If you could build a winger, and then that's something different, because then it makes him think outside of that, where maybe he then can allude to the profile of the player that may be coming in, or something along those lines, or let him have a little fun, because he'll say something about Messi because he loves some Messi. But I think there's an opportunity, but you have to think deeper than that. And I think if you take your personal perspective and ask the question, I think it'll make it even better. But yes, there's a responsibility from the journals to step the game up, because I understand it's a job, so that can actually get sort of repetitive as well.
I absolutely agree. And also, I think there's probably a little bit of they have to do what they're told. They have to, sometimes their editor or their manager, whoever boss man is telling them, hey, I want you to ask this, this, and this. And so sometimes, yeah, I can see how it's like it's not even their fault. It's like, I'm just doing my job,
Yeah,
but
and it's weird, because the leadership in those companies, I feel like, should know that too, though, man. Like it makes for better media. I mean, and you can get a different sensationalized headline, you know. So I don't know. I think it's worth the effort, though.
absolutely. But speaking of pressers, I'm sure Mr. Guardiola will be given one tomorrow, I do imagine, because you're traveling to the Stadium of Light. Yes, Sunderland are without a number of players for the AFCON, but they have shown so far in the two games since the tournament has begun some resilience. Granit Xhaka's still there patrolling. He's been, scaring teams left and right at home. It's going to be loud. It's going to be a cauldron. They're definitely going to be up for it. And so am I. I got the hate watch ready. I'm going to be there with bells on, praying that my man Granite can do me a solid here in this title race. But I'm not hopeful, because Shirky, Foden, Holland, and the gang are absolutely killing it. And against my head, against my heart, I should say, my head's telling me you're going to take care of business.
I feel like I mean, I think because again, the turnaround was pretty quick. In addition to that, I mean, I think the guys are getting not a ton of rest, but they're starting to get used to that 3 day cycle of games. So I think you'll see probably the same lineup that was there for the last game, because why not? And then what I do think is, because Holland has been fairly quiet by his standards, I think this will be a game that he'll want to kind of re-announce himself into the new year because he's been having a fantastic season. With goal scoring wise, but just across the board, goal assist, etc. Reinders is on a pretty good run, and Cherky is as well. So I think, but I do think Erling Holland will probably look to make a mark on the game as well as Phil Foden. I I I I don't anticipate much along the changes. I mean, uh, could there be a Savinho sighting? That would be the most hello welcome to the new calendar year for me ever. But I think that what's working is working. So I think that Pep will stay with that because I don't. I mean, the next fixture after that, if I'm not mistaken, let me take
It's
a quick look.
Chelsea at home.
Well, I'm not really worried about the team. I'm more about the date. Like I'm looking at the
The
dates.
4th.
So yeah, so because of that, could there be a little bit of rotation in there? I wouldn't be,
It's Sunday.
yeah, I wouldn't be shocked by that. But eh, but it kind of is what it is because it's
Well, let me ask you this: if Semenyo does come through the door tomorrow, does it like tactically speaking? I know you know Pep way better than me. Is he going to be right in the team? He's not going to be right in the team, is he? Immediately.
I mean, the funny thing is that commentators
Starting,
are
I
like,
mean.
he'll.
Starting, I mean.
Oh no, I no that well we have a front line set. I
He
mean
might be on. He might be on the bench, but I don't see him starting for no.
I if I'm being honest, that I would be shocked if so. The game is on the first. I guess the earliest they could announce it is the first. I'm not sure how that works. I don't know when the
Yeah,
window officially opens because if the announcement isn't until the first, he's
he can't
unlikely to
play.
be on the bench
He won't even
that
be
day.
registered. Yeah, but
So
yeah,
do I think if he is signed, he'll be on the bench for the fourth? Absolutely, he will be,
for the
and
Chelsea game. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
for depth. But I don't. I find it highly unlikely, and I think that's too quick of a turnaround as far as disturbing sort of team chemistry setup to stick him in there on the first day. I think the announcement may come. Uh, Based on how they do things, I don't think the announcement would come until after the game, anyways. I think the game is, in my opinion, I think the game would be priority. But I mean, I guess it depends on how quickly they want to get all this done because the announcement, again, normally is the setup for whatever's next. So I would assume, but I mean, if you announce him after the game, because the game is a late game for in England, you announce him after the game, and then he's on the bench on the fourth. I think that's enough turnaround time because he's not going to practice with the team. Like he's not going to be able to practice
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
until the second, anyways. If he does practice, and I don't know if and what kind of practice they're going to do if they have the game on the first, then there's the second, the third, and the game on the fourth. They're not going to do any. It's walkthrough stuff. I mean,
yeah.
you're not like going through it hard because then after that, there's a game on the seventh. So if he is in the team, he absolutely will be on the bench. In my opinion, for the fourth, I'd be shocked about the first, and I say he probably will get some burn on the fourth, just because uh he'd have literally a rest longer than everybody else in the team, and depending on how AFCON goes, you might have some guys on their way back too. So he definitely, I think, will want to get like at least some minutes in because then you got the EFL Cup
I was
after
gonna
that.
say you do have Exeter in the you have Exeter at home in the FA Cup, which
Yeah,
is
yeah,
a chance
yes,
to get
back.
some
Yeah.
rotation.
But I think
Yeah,
depending on how the tournaments, the AFCON goes, you might have either you'll have an absolutely full team, or you'll
no,
have
Egypt are gonna go. Egypt will be good. They'll do all
well,
right. So Marmouche will probably be gone for a couple more weeks.
but I'm looking like the 13th against Newcastle in the EFL Cup. I dare say most of the team will be back for
Yeah,
that. And so,
should be. Yeah,
well, it's exciting. If they
definitely
do
the
get the player.
Manchester Derby at Old Trafford
Yeah, for sure, for
on
sure. I mean,
17th. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that, but it's exciting. I mean, I think he the long throw ins is something that City is missing. He's a winger, so and he's a winger who can play outside in and inside out. So he offers what Doku offers as well, but he'd be playing the opposite side. So I think it's good. It gives some depth. I know people are questioning like why would you sign that guy? Well, I mean, if the writing is there, Bob is probably going out on loan right now. It looks like Dortmund. Um, Savino is
Yeah.
going to stay because, and then uh, uh, I think I think they said Ake might be out too. He's probably going to go somewhere in
Oh, for real.
January, so he could,
Okay.
and so he can get playing time because I
Sure.
mean, defensively, the team depth wise is fine. I'm on
O'Reilly, Lewis. Yeah, you've got some
right,
depth
so
now.
I think
Kusanov.
it'll be time for some of the guys to start like moving to other places, just for playing time, and so I think it'll be an interesting match. I mean, again, going to someone else's stadium is always a challenge. It's two consecutive games away, so it's at Forest, at Sunderland. I mean, that they're nice trips, stadium environments that matter that you can feel. So I think it'll be interesting going in there. I mean, no game is easy, so I think again, Holland and Foden are going to want to sort of mark their names, especially since the run is there as far as like number of games. Like every
Yeah,
three
yeah.
days, there's a game. So you want to try to hit that form as much as you can so you can give. And I mean, I think about this when I used to coach ball, but also, thinking about it, as a mediocre player, you want to get guys get the work done so other guys can get in there so you can get a rest.
Yeah.
And so it's as much as done and dusted as you can get it, unless you're going like after a specific milestone like a Hattie or something like that. So I think the game will be a good one. I never have an idea about the result because they still do goofy things in the back
It'll be
that
close, man.
confound me, but
There's
I
there's
think
no way. I've watched a lot of Sunderland games this season. I even watched the game versus Leeds recently. They weren't at their sterling best, but still managed to stand strong and get a draw. Um, they're going to be tough, man. It's not going to be one of these 3-0s. Yeah, they're missing Dan Ballard as well as their AFCON contingent. Dan Ballard, the stalwart at the back, former Arsenal man, of course. That's definitely gonna more of an advantage to you, of course. But they're gonna battle, man. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be they're gonna kick you a real pure Northeast game. You're not gonna go up there and get an easy one. I thought that okay, yeah, Sunderland have been good, but we're on top of the table. We're the one leading the way. We're gonna go up there and we're gonna show them what's what. And it didn't work out like that. So I'm really, really hoping that they can do something for me. But objectively speaking, realistically speaking, it's not going to be easy.
in addition, it's a midweek thing, and there were goals today, man. Like there was goals all over the place. So I think it lends itself to some of that as well. So I think there's a couple of things at play there, because you have like just the general fatigue that exists in playing so many games in such a short period, while also sort of mentally being connected to external off the field things that I think it leads to that. But there's an excitement as well because there are players who are playing to showcase themselves for potential moves because January is that time. And Jan 1, 26, people are like, hey, come and get me. So you get some actions in play from other people trying to keep their market value as high as possible too. But I think it'll be a game worth watching.
Yeah, especially with some of these players who weren't necessarily starting a few weeks ago for Sunderland, like Simone Dingra, who's been pretty good. He got a goal. He got the goal for Sunderland in the last game. He's been good when he's come on for them. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting match. I'm certainly looking forward to it. I'll definitely be tuning in. We do have
We
a
got a
comment
comment here, man. Who was I
from
don't know
Fire.
who that
It's
is.
from Fire Them Can. It's from Fire Them
That's
Cannons.
a very cool name. That's cool.
Yeah, I was actually on this podcast a couple of weeks ago. Make sure you
Oh,
go back over there and show them some love as well.
for sure.
Shout
For
out to
sure.
Fire Them Cannons, of course. Thanks for being here. Yeah, and his arrival is timely, actually, because the
There's
Arsenal
your segue. Yeah, there's your
have
segue.
absolutely destroyed Aston Villa at the
Yeah.
Emirates Stadium. It was an absolutely magnificent, blinding performance in that second half. I was a bit worried after that first half. I saw some things tactically from Emery that I was impressed with and was not necessarily happy with, I should say. But I definitely thought that we stood up well. Ollie Watkins definitely should have scored.
Yes, you should have twice.
I'm not.
Like
I'm not gonna. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
we
And there
we
was
dodged a couple of them on that.
and there was they were missing like incisive passes in that first half. There were runs there that they were just missing, man.
Yeah, for sure. So I think we rode our luck a little bit in that second half. I thought we came out, started well, little nervy. It was a little nervy in the very, very beginning.
Yeah.
There was a moment where Trossard had to tell Marino to calm down, or had to tell Hincapié to calm down, just settle down a little bit, But I thought for the first 10 minutes we were pretty good without really doing much, But I thought that as we normally do, we up the game in the up the levels at the beginning of the second half, and you know people talk about set piece FC and corner kick FC and all this, and
Hey man, if that's what you're good at, man, your bread is butter. Then let the bread. Why would you eat stale, hard bread, right?
hey, I hear
Start
you.
go
I
from
hear
where
it.
you know, man.
It's the perfect way to and Villa weren't necessarily low block FC today, but
No, they were not.
um, it's the perfect way when you're struggling to kind of get a. We didn't really have rhythm or control in the game, and so Villa, I thought, kind of had the better of it in the first half. And so to kind of get our noses in front, literally, and, as a bit tactically and dynamically in the game, that goal was massive. And of course, it comes from Big Gabriel. I mean, what can you say? Dude, what can you say about the difference this guy makes
For sure.
coming into the team, man? Massive. Absolutely massive. Gabriel Magalhaes is a monster, dude. He's a monster, and I couldn't be happier that he's back in the fold. It wasn't the most glamorous goal my man's ever scored. Had a
Hey,
little
you just
roll
need to
down his
go in.
shin.
You just needed to go in, man. That's all that matters.
Hey, but it counts the same as a bicycle kick from what's that dude out in Morocco that can't stop doing bicycle kicks? Have you seen these
Yeah, the
memes?
highlights, yeah, man. Yeah,
That guy's great, So the Gabriel goal counts as much as that man's bicycle kicks. But yeah, just his presence in the back. I thought that how I've been mentioning over the past couple of weeks that we the only goals we're conceding have been to crosses. And even in this game, at the end of the game, when we sat off, which I've been so mad about it. But this is my point. When you're up 4-0, it's okay. When there's 4 minutes left and you're winning by 4 goals, imagine that, guys. Just imagine that. Like, not having to scramble at the end of the game to see it out. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Order has been restored. I like that. Yeah. You want to sing this out? You want to sing this out for me, Nez?
That's
I know you
funny,
know
man.
the tune. I know you know the tune. I can hear it. I can hear it.
Nah, hey, man, I'm no singer, and for some reason my nose has been weird. That's why I just muted on my sneeze. So, but
No,
hey, man,
yes.
hey, man,
Yeah, man. That goal from Zuby was fantastic. Nice little tucked it in nicely. Ruthless. That's what we were today. That's what Gabrielle was. That's what Martin Odegaard was. Odegaard was fantastic
yeah, he played
today.
well. He played well. Now I know when we were sort of texting back and forth earlier today. I know you mentioned about Gyökeres needed to kind of to get on it. So what I mean, I don't think he was like awful or anything, but after watching the game, I do think he needs to see the net bulge because it's I mean it's as good as the team was, I think as from sort of that striker's mentality is different than the Kai Havertz give me a penalty to take thing. I
Yeah.
think he for sure needs to get a goal himself. I mean, especially how well they were flowing, because then it makes you so antsy for one. Because when like
Yeah.
the Trossard goal, which was offsides but wasn't offsides, but it was onside or whatever. I mean, from naked eye, I was like, he's on, right? Like I'm like he's on, right?
Well,
Like I
this
don't.
one they tried to go back to the first half to see if the pass in the first
No,
half was
this one, the
offsides.
second half I'm talking about.
No,
This
I'm making a joke because they went back one pass. Okay, we'll go back to the next pass. Okay, that one was fine. We'll go back to the next pass. All right,
yeah,
that's fine. We'll go back to the next pass. All right, that's fine. Let's go back to how many I was very angry with that.
I didn't understand that, man. I'm just like, hey, man. I'm like naked eye. I see the pass. I see where the player is. I'm like, he's on. Like, I didn't understand the question, so I was like, okay, whatever. But it's sort of like it's just that a lot of guys were on a run, and then when obviously when Gabriel Jesus came on, he got his goal. Which again, talking about somebody who needed a goal,
Yeah.
like who need you saw. I mean, it was funny that he had he pulled out what was that the name is the guy who's too pure for his
Kaká.
girlfriend. Yeah, Kaká. I'm like, why he's too pure for his wife, and that's why his wife left him.
Yeah,
So,
he's got
but yeah,
the I belong to Jesus shirt like
yeah,
Kaká.
which
Yeah.
I get. He summoning whatever he needs to summon, which I think is interesting because even though I didn't think of Kaká at first, I thought about like Jeremy Doku, because Doku is on the sort of that same sort of path, which I respect.
Right.
Whatever guides you spiritually, if it affects the improvement of how you take things, and it elevates your appreciation, I'm happy for him. Or was it a nightmare? Yeah, dude, I don't know, man. Again,
I'll go twice.
where I stand fandom wise and supporting wise, but I mean, a spade is a spade. I didn't understand what it was. Like I'm just I
To be fair, the referee was terrible, yes, but he was awful for them and against them.
oh no, then you're fine then. Yeah, because he
No,
wasn't calling anything.
seriously, Bukayo Saka, lucky boy, because he had not one but two cynical, fouls that I was shocked when he wasn't booked for.
Now
And
he wasn't calling it, man.
it was the fouls. It was the fouls that he stopped the play. He stopped the fast break on the first one by kicking Morgan. Just kicked out at Morgan Rogers, who was past most of our defenders, even though it was our corner kick, right? And so he was going to go on a fast break. Saka kicks him and brings him down. Moises Caicedo was booked in the 3rd minute for that in the Chelsea game. And then 10 minutes later, Saka does the same thing. Could have got a second one. And Anton here is right. Marino should have got sent off for the same thing. We dodged it 3 times.
But,
Three times we dodged that. So the ref was bad.
If you're consistently horrible across the board, what can you say, right?
Case in point. Yeah. So he was bad for both teams. Very, very bad for both teams.
But that's when you as a player, as a coach, you're like, hey man, long as he's giving them the same garbage he's giving us, we're just gonna have to live with that.
But speaking on Gyökeres, I think that yes, you're right, 100%. He needs to see the net bulge, but as far as today's performance, that's the only thing that it didn't have.
Yeah, for sure.
He's cleaned up his touches. Game to game, I think he's improved. His touches today were much cleaner, much smoother than they have been. I think that his movement was good. And as this game went on, it progressed as well. His play in the second half before he was subbed off was actually excellent. It was some of his best hold-up play. He actually had a great moment to hold the ball up, bring Odegaard into the play, get the ball back, and give it to Saka, who wins the corner for the first goal. So he was a major part of winning the corner. I definitely thought that it was good to see that his performance improved. Yes, I would have loved to see one or both of those headers go in. But my notes, as I said in my match reaction, was closer. It's closer. It's no longer like, oh my God, he's missed by a mile. It's like, all right, there's clear market improvement, and all that's left, as you say, is to see the net bulge. So with Gyökeres, I've been a major defender of his. Yes, as I mentioned in my match reaction to the Brighton game, he was awful. There's no sugarcoating that, but much improved performance from him today.
And to piggyback another thing that we talked about. Well, what is this?
No, lots and 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 lots of people and channels and Twitter accounts and YouTubers are on the Glock watch, as Jordan from Loose Cannons calls it, over on Turkish's channel. So it's good that he's had a good game, and people are kind of leaving that to the side because we've won 4-1. There's no way to pick on Arsenal today because we've absolutely destroyed them. And so he's getting left alone. But it legitimately, I thought he played well. I thought he had a good game.
Well, I know the thing is that just looking, just sort of not to sort of make it a somber mood. I know when we were texting earlier that the question about Rice being absent today is for sure a thing that I asked the basic question. So what's up with the results, right? Like if it's a draw, how do we take it? If it's a win, how do you guys take it? If it's a loss, how do you take it? And you stood 10 toes down on we got to win, and so you guys did it. But I think there still is the question, because again, I didn't even know about like Rice getting injured, and so when you told me about it today, I was like, oh, what is the deal with that? And so do you think that played a role in any rotation or when players did whatever they did? Not the players, when the manager did what he did.
I absolutely do want to get to the Rice thing. I want to answer this as well. There's still a reason to pick on you guys because your home form has not been imperious this season, maybe performance-wise, but there you go. The unbeaten home record speaks for itself. We've drawn one time and won all of the rest of the games. But yeah, there's always reason to pick us on us. It's the internet, isn't it? But on Declan Rice, I think that as far as how it perfected our performance, yes, you could tell that Marino, who was his direct replacement, had the bit between his teeth today. He was definitely at it, definitely being physical, definitely knew that his role was subtly different than it would have been when he normally comes in to play midfield alongside Declan Rice. And so I think he took up the mantle and was able to play that role and fill in very, very well. And I think that one thing that I was actually talking to Anton from Fire Them Cannons before the match, I was telling him it's going to be a confidence thing, because I've noticed sometimes when we don't have, the same player, the same guys, the team's confidence is not as high. But Marino's performance, I think, was a part of the fact that our confidence was really high.
Yeah, and I think it was also weathering the storm in that first half, because again, they had chances, man. They had lots of chances, and they just didn't finish them, and they were missing passes, and you can't let good teams sit around and expect them, not to finish some of those chances. So I think it was solid for that, and I think we can give Arteta some credit, and I know there's a feeling in the air about him, but you got to give him some credit on how he handled today, and especially with the player of the stature of Rice being missing and what they needed to do to go forward. What does this say?
I agree with what you're saying 100%, and I think that in the face of not having Rice, I thought our transitional defense was, we rode our luck a bit in the first half, and we're lucky that Ollie Watkins has fluffed his line a bit. But two things can be true, right? We played well, but also, yes, Weira here is right. We're overusing Declan Rice. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I've heard different things about Declan himself saying that 2 days after the game, he's absolutely shattered, absolutely done. His back's hurting, he's limping, and all this. And then I heard them talking about on Loose Cannon's podcast the other day how it was the lady, the guest who was on the show. She was at the game, and Jordan was also at the game. They were talking about how in the last 20 minutes of the Brighton game, Rice was shattered. Rice was absolutely hands on knees, puffing in the air. Weir is absolutely right. We don't need to continue to overuse Rice like that, you know. And yeah, he's right again. If we don't win it in the end, these will be the kinds of narratives that we're talking about, you know. Next big game, do a poll on our pod. Which of our best players will magically miss?
Well, hey man,
this is what it seems like, isn't it?
so who got injured today? Because you said consecutive games. I don't remember anybody being injured today. Did anybody get injured today?
Rice was the injury today.
No. But you said, like, remember when we were talking earlier? You said every game somebody got injured. So I don't remember anyone being injured this game.
Rice was the okay. Well,
we didn't.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. Yeah. Well, we don't know yet, do we?
Are you serious?
It hasn't come out yet, but I'm sure somebody took a knock today. That's just the way things are going, you know.
I suppose.
Yeah, no, this is 100% right. We were seeing cracks in the last couple of games. You know, that's something that I was screaming about, especially against Wolves. 100% against the worst team in the league when you let them come on to you like that. But what was the difference today, Weira? If you catch the game today, what was the difference today? When we scored that first goal, no let up, immediately down their throat. When we scored the second goal, there was no let up. We were immediately into them the whole time, you know.
I think the other thing that exists too is when Villa played you the first time, they were at home, but it was also like the fluky, are they whatever. And now this time they had a couple of things playing against them that add an additional pressure, because if they had won the game or if they had even drawn the game, now they're like, oh, they're for real, because they didn't have that question the last time you played them. In addition to that, if they had won this game, it would have been a 12-game winning streak, the longest in their history. So you had that and that on top of then the opponent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Away. Mm-hmm. And I think those are a lot of things to add to a team that's not necessarily, there yet. They're not like, what they were, what the other title challengers normally are. And so I think that adds something to them, because I would say who was their next game? Hold on a second.
Villa's next game?
Next game's against Palace. And it's away at Palace. I think you get a very different team and a different game from them, because the pressure of we got to maintain the winning streak, and we're title challengers, and we're this. All those things are gone, because they're still in the top three, but now because there's a little bit of a gap, it's more of they can be a little more loosey-goosey, because while they want the result is not going to end up with the firing questions. Are you guys for real? Like, so there's things that a lot of those people are not dealing with, especially since it's like not a direct title rival. In addition to the Emery hates Arsenal thing, I think there were just so many things stacked on top of it, which played out in the first half, because again, like there were chances that they were playing, they were with you the first half. Mm-hmm. That halftime whistle went, and it was not the same game in the second half, and you have to like kind of let it be what it is, and you got to give Arsenal credit, for holding firm at home. So it goes to the point about, have you looked perfect at home? No. But I mean, at the end of the day, the results are results. And that's really what, you want for the end of the day. I know there's some comments, so we'll go on those.
Yeah. One thing I do want to say is, actually I forgot, because I was reading the comments. Oh, no. I want to, just a little jab at Emery because of our history or whatever. Just look back at his CV and the times he's been close to a title race, or kind of considered he might have been in a title race. He hasn't really been able to see it through. Emery's more the cup guy, and maybe this is uncharted territory for him.
But, now I hear what you said. Let me just add a little bit of shade on there to that. Yeah. Not to him, but based on what you said. Now when there's the title race, I mean, Arteta's not that guy either, so we not gonna necessarily say the same thing. Hey, I just want to, hey, if that's the shot we taking at Emery, we got to take the same shot at Arteta because we know it's the same shot. I just as a
Of
literally a
course you
neutral in
do.
that scenario,
Yeah.
I gotta give that one. And Emery, he wins cups, and Arteta. So I'm
He won
again
a cup. He won a cup. Okay.
with Emery's team. So
Oh my God. Here we go.
I'm just saying, man, we got to
Here
make
we
sure
go.
we keep it. But yes, you guys, I mean, I think the game was bigger for them because of a lot of other things there. Now, what, Gabriel's hand got stepped on? What was that? Is that the
Yeah,
movie?
when Gabriel at the end, when he was sitting there, when he was sitting on the ground because he had cramp or whatever, Hincapié walked up, wasn't paying attention, and stepped on his hand. It was hilarious.
How do you
And
have?
they caught his face like it was pretty funny. It was a total accident. It was a total accident. But
But I
yeah,
agree.
Weir says
I agree with you, yeah.
we raised the tempo in the second half. Excuse subs. See, this is 100% what I've been saying. Definitely, that's what I was saying earlier. When it's 4-0, you don't have to worry about it. You can use the subs. You can keep them fresh. That's 100%. We don't do that. We don't do that enough, and that's why we haven't been able
complain
to.
about Pep doing that. Pep doesn't play his substitute, so I think that's a consistent thing where people complain about managers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. See, no, this is right. We had our, we're not without our, these kind of makeshift lineups, these makeshift backs, that confidence at the end to see the game out has kind of not been there as much. And so we have been conceding some of these fluky goals at the end of games, and it's infuriating. And this is where Weira has identified himself as a Chelsea fan. Emery played Possum and benched Watkins against us, that meaning the Blues. Came off the bench to kill us off. I was surprised he started this game. I wasn't surprised Watkins started. He scores goals against Arsenal.
And it was his birthday today. Why would you not start the guy?
He scores goals, man.
But sentiment-wise, I had a feeling he was going to start because the first thing they said, hey, happy birthday to him. I'm like, yeah, he's playing. He's literally starting.
He's playing.
Why would I come off the bench, right?
Yes. Right here, 100%. You got to be ruthless. Have to be ruthless. 11 in a row under Emery. Failed to make Champions League in the end. Please do not ever don't. This is a 4-letter word right here. Don't say that. That's a 4-letter word. I don't even want to remember that day, but I remember it's burned in my memory from Emery.
Well, then it shows one. Emery already has a thing about 11 because he was on 11 here, so that's there, right? And that's real pressure, man. Like you got just like you winning streaks and stuff.
Yeah, and this is the one. This is the one that would have solidified it. That would have said, "Yo, we're here and we're here to stay." Emery's a cup manager like Conte. Arteta struggles in knockout comps. Or my mistake. Yes, Arteta struggles in knockout competitions, and yes, this is a excuse. But he never really took him seriously till the Champions League. I'm only gonna say that once because that's an excuse, and I know you're about to rebuttal. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I mean, it says in knockouts and competitions. Again, the easiest shade is the Emery didn't cross the line, but Arteta has yet to cross the line either. So we can't give anybody something until they cross the line. Am I right? I just feel like in profile, if we're saying like Arteta has a higher profile because of the consistent performance of Arsenal over the last 3 seasons, because that's the poll. Arsenal has the most points over the last 3 seasons, even though it's confusing on that poll because you did 2 full seasons and a half a season. How does that math over 3 seasons? Whatever, don't care.
The math ain't mathing. Yeah,
it's not mathing. It's it's for a headline or whatever.
It's just another one of those, top at Christmas crying in May things. It's another one of those Cecil Christmas table T-shirts. It's just another one of those participation trophies. That's what it is. As much as I don't want to, to give Big Steve and the Blue Sharks, credit about some of the stuff he says because it irks me. He's right that some of the people in the Arsenal fan base just want a pat on the back for everything that we do. Everything good we do, you got to have a pat on the back. Yeah, we smashed Villa today. Great, awesome. I'm excited, but I'm not gonna sit here and say, "Oh, you must say we're gonna win the league now." You must say that we're better than you because we smashed Villa today. And that's like a lot of the narrative sometimes. And that's just not where I'm at.
But that's also something we talked about earlier. I'm like, all that's fine because we were talking about I still, I stand on you need to win a cup. And you're like, well, and I'm like, because we can't these games, that's the running joke is that, you beat Man City this season cup. Like there's no trophy for that. Hey man, if you don't win a trophy, no one cares. Like
Hey,
no
we
one cares.
smashed you 5-1.
And while the ribbons are blue and white, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, who cares, man? I don't care.
Exactly.
And so that I think that's proper. Now, the not that question. The next one about Eze, you and I talked about that, and that was a critique you had about like, is there a
It's
reason?
simple. It's very simple. Trossard's balling out. He's got 5 goals in the Prem, leading goal scorer in the Premier League for Arsenal. He's balling out. How do you drop him? That's it. That's really what it is. I want to see Eze as well. I think we need to get Eze in this team. He's one of our better players. He's a fantastic Prem-proven player, but as long as Trossard is scoring goals, and I mean, what are you going to do?
Hey, is this what is it, Wira? He hears me, man. You got to win some. Hey, man, I ain't even gonna say nothing else because that's literally what I've been preaching. I'm especially now, like you're already through in the Champions League, man. If you do not play these next games in the cups, like they're everything. Like what are we doing?
I'm telling you right now, my man, if we don't come and smash you in this Carabao Cup semifinal, I'm gonna be upset. I'm gonna be upset. I know it's a tin pot. Mickey Mouse doesn't mean anything. $100,000 prize money to win the whole thing tournament. But you're right, Arteta. Like, it's time,
Hey
bro.
man,
It's time to nut up or shut up, dude. You
hey
got to do
man,
it.
I'm gonna just put it real simple. If you don't know what it feel like to have the explosives go off behind you with your ribbons on stuff to walk up there to shake the hand of the king or the prince and to have medals put around your neck and to watch your name get engraved on something, then you don't know anything. You don't get those for winning regular games. And this is why I stand on you got to win something. I don't want to hear nothing because again, so like the comparison of Emery versus Arteta. Emery has done that, and I don't care about anything else. He's done that, and so where do you stand? Because when the pressure is the highest, which that's when the pressure is highest, he wins. I mean, it ain't perfect, but he gets the W's, and I agree. Like even with the comment that Trossard has been good, man. But the thing about it is that okay, we talked about it, in the chat, and then the guy mentioned that too about Gabriel. If Trossard gets hurt, and I'm not wishing that on you because I don't function like that, then what? Now you got a guy who has to all of a sudden find a way to get in the field and get into rhythm. Like I think you got to play guys even so. And using a City example, as much well, you know how I feel about Savinho, but Pep makes sure he plays. Now we all think it's I think and City supporters think it's because there's a clause in his contract that he has to play every game. But he plays.
Absolutely.
But he plays. So if somebody goes down, guess what we never worry about? His fitness, his ability to I mean, we worry about him being good, but we don't have to worry about him actually being ingratiated in the team and saying, okay, why is this guy not getting any burn? Like he's regularly in there. And so to have a guy as his quality and he's not touching the field, that's here. That starts to affect here. And you already got a striker that like needs to break across the line, and then you had Jesus who really needed. You can't have a bunch of guys who really need a goal. That doesn't benefit you any because then what that does, and we've seen it, is those guys start to press and start taking shots that are awful because they just gotta see a goal, and then you get weird play.
I hear that, but also let's look at these fixtures, man. From January 3rd to January 31st, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games. 9 games. That's including Liverpool at home. That's including the first leg versus Chelsea. That's including Inter Milan, Manchester United, Leeds away. So Eze's going to play. We got Inter Milan. Inter Milan is a game we can rotate because it literally means nothing. Kairat in the Champions League we can rotate because it means even less than the Inter Milan game. And then Portsmouth, away to Portsmouth in the FA Cup, Eze will play. So we're going to get – guys are going to get minutes here.
Well, but I agree with that, and I agree that he will get minutes. But my point is closer to minutes with the guys that play. Because there's a different chemistry. If I play with the subs and stuff, there's a different chemistry to the game. There's a different energy to it. Because if I think I'm a baller, and the only time I see the field is with those guys, and I'm saying that, in the way
Hey, I hear
I'm,
that. No, I hear
then
that.
that's different. Like, I mean, at least give me a few minutes with the guys, because if
Yeah.
I'm always with those guys, I'm like, okay, thanks, coach. You know what I'm saying? Like, just especially since I was the guy. Like, I think it's weird, and so it is what it is. What do you say? Did we catch these
Yeah,
comments?
he's actually about to speak on Chelsea, and I think because segues are really weird. I think
We'll
that's a
use that.
perfect time for us to also segue to Chelsea. He says, Mira says, we are shambles right now. Maresca has our players having their roles confused. Cannot let us get past you in the Carabao. Now it's perfect time. Feast or chaos. I absolutely agree. We cannot unequivocally let you get past us in the Carabao Cup. I'd be very, very upset with that.
Can I shoot real on this though? But again, it's a cup. I think teams play different in cups, man. And Chelsea is confusing because I don't know what they be doing half of the time, man. I really don't. Like
do they?
I no, but see that makes it so hard to game plan against them because they get up for cups. We've watched them live. They get up for cups. They like them games. I don't get it. I mean, I get it, but I also don't get it. So as much as I think you're a better team than Chelsea, you don't know what Chelsea shows up. And again, by the time you play them, is it going to be Cold Palmer or is it going to be Cole Palmer that you're getting to play against? Because like informed Cole Palmer is a very different guy. Like he took him off today, and that there was the spectacle from the last game when he took Cole off, and Cole didn't want to come off. And then he took him off today, and then there was a little bit of Cole recognized that the media jumped on him
He was
for
poor.
But the thing is that he's trying to get informed, but like Maresca, and to the commentator's point, is like Maresca's like, hey man, I understand you want to play, but you want a minutes for sure. You just came back. If you go back out again,
Exactly.
what do we do? And so I
No, I
get it
agree with
from the
that.
player's side.
I agree with that 100%. And it's a little odd, I think that it I don't know if finally or if Maresca has gotten to as good as he can get without needing more support from the board philosophy wise. I feel like because we've talked about this, Maresca's a winner. He wants to win stuff, but the board, the people running the club, if we're honest with ourselves, they're here to make money, and they don't believe that the best way to make money is winning, which is dumb. But that's where the disconnect is, and that's why they ran Tuchel out of Dodge because Tuchel wasn't a yes man. Pochettino or Graham Potter was a yes man, but he was awful, and the results weren't there. Pochettino wasn't a yes man, but the results were there for a minute. And now Maresca's not a yes man, and he kind of let it go for a while, but their attack is not great, man. Maybe y'all should, Weira's talking about Nwaneri feeding on scraps. Yeah, he is feeding on scraps. He's not getting any game time, and it's crazy. He might work at Chelsea. I would hate to see him go to Chelsea, of course.
What's interesting, they were talking about the lap and how the lap has done nothing, and it's just an interesting thing because I don't know the answer there at all. I mean, the last striker I can remember that actually was producing for Chelsea is what is it? Diego Costa. Is that right?
Diego Costa, throwback.
I mean, he was
I
running
hate
people
him so
over and
much.
he was violent but like
Yeah, I hate him so
who was
much.
the striker after that, right? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like
Maybe
that could
Weira can
consistently
tell
score
us.
goals.
Yeah, the Club World Cup papered over the cracks in the back line. Maresca didn't deal with this proactively. I agree. The Colwill injury, you mentioned it in this comment here. Not having Colwill is injured. And I'm honestly surprised that Fofana has, been able to put this many run of games together. He's never healthy either, and so Chalaba's having to play a whole bunch. Cuckoo now got, injured. And the thing is, they have, yes, Palmer, of course, but also it's Caicedo, it's James, it's Cucurella, And some will say that Robert Sanchez has he's definitely improved.
He has
He's
absolutely. He's
one
improved.
of probably their most improved player this season. I think he's been very good in recent times. But it's like you said, square pegs, round holes in the back line.
And
Uh,
Estava was
y-
pretty good today too. He wasn't like awful. He was good.
yeah,
He looked exciting. He was getting past guys.
but the point
You know,
is that
nothing there.
he's playing in the midfield sometimes, or he's playing the left back sometimes, or sometimes he's playing right back. Oh, you're saying Esteval? I thought you meant Gusto. I was talking
No,
about Malo
Esteva.
Gusto.
No. Esteva.
Esteval definitely, yeah,
He
Esteval
looked
definitely
good
looked
today,
like
man.
decent today.
He looked good today. He was getting past guys, but then there was nobody up there with him. Like he was beating guys, and then there's nothing.
Yeah, I agree. João Pedro and Delap are not delivering. Uh, you know, I mean, I don't know that Gu is the answer either. He's young. He's young, But my point is like you said, there aren't any Diego Costas in the squad. There's no like name that you're really afraid of. Cole Palmer, but like you
But I'm talking
said,
about like a striker.
like you
Like there's
said,
no
Cole
striker.
Palmer's been out for how long? And it takes time to come back and get back to the level, get back to match fitness, and get back to game speed. And he's rightly so. And there's no like criticizing him for this. He's been rusty the last two games that he's come back because of course, and so you can't expect that right out the rip. But the results are just the results. You got to get wins somewhere. You got to figure it out somehow. I've been heavily critical of Enzo Fernandez. I thought he was decent in the first half today. He needs to step up. He needs to be way better.
Well, I mean, I remember Patrick and X saying like there's still a confusion of him and Enzo and Caicedo playing together because
Yeah.
it's I mean it's a like for like, right? And we know Caicedo is the superior player. I mean, we already know that. So it's about okay, well what do you do?
Yeah.
What?
I'm not going to read that part out. Gusto is ruining us. He turns our right flank into, well,
Yeah.
Caicedo becomes the scapegoats when we concede chance on the counter. Enzo Fernandez. Yeah, I agree with that. But Caicedo becomes the scapegoat only because most often he stops up the counter. That's literally, for me, that's what Chelsea's best attribute is in this team, if you look at it objectively without overhyping every single player. No, that their best attribute is transitional defense. When they lose the ball, Caicedo, James, Cucurella, and Gusto, and they're immediately back on it trying to win the ball. Their transitional defense immediately after they lose the ball is very, very good. It's really difficult to get the ball past Caicedo when he's like kind of in his one-on-one duel mode. It's very, very difficult to hold Reece James off the ball. Just ask Miles Lewis Skelly. So I think that's their best attribute. And so when you get run past, the guy that's best at that, at stopping you getting run past is going to get scapegoated. But yeah, I feel like, that's obviously not the only issue. But at some point, your attack has to like bring the other half of the team to the party. It can't all be on Maresca when he's shown that he can get a tune out of the team. Obviously, you won the Conference League. Obviously, you were able to beat PSG in a blinding performance in the Club World Cup final. He's got the know-how, the tactical nous to put it together. But when you don't bring in proper players to score goals, like I heard something today. Somebody said they might as well have kept Madueke.
There was a lot of questions about Nicholas Jackson too.
He's scoring goals for Bayern. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's interesting. I'm just enjoying it. That's why I like to discuss it. That's why I like to bring it up. I'm just enjoying how, it's Chelsea fans got super, super hyped, and then it's not going how they've expected since the Barcelona game. Yeah, I like this. You don't have Diego Costa. He was Severus Snape, man. He was the dark arts. Diego Costa, bro. He was Mad Eye Moody.
Well, I
You
mean,
know what
think
I'm
about it. It
saying?
was before Costa. It was Drogba. Like, I mean, you had like guys that were like,
Dude, Didn't know he had it all though. Drogba was power, pace, finishing, clutch. He
then,
had
but
it
like
all, man.
after Costa, I mean, you because you had Chelsea had a period with Fernando Torres where he was. I mean, he was not Liverpool Fernando Torres, so he was no longer El Nino. We get that, but it's one, it's hard to find a striker. And two, when you find they've literally tried over and over, but I think it matters on the team that's connecting with the guy as well. And I think there's I think there's an issue chemistry wise in the midfield. I think he made the point about Enzo and Cole playing together. Like, until
Mm-hmm.
you get that sorted out, it doesn't matter who your striker is, because if you don't have anybody to feed them the ball, it doesn't matter. Like, we talk about at City, they talk about well, Holland doesn't touch the ball, but those guys are always looking for him. Always, and they know where to put it for him. They've played enough where it is like, hey, this is where he likes it. This is the plate for him, and he's continually working for that. And when he gets his chance, he finishes. The Chelsea strikers are the Chelsea strikers.
Yeah, and the most baffling part about it is this right here. Why Garnacho? Gittins, okay. I don't. Perhaps a bit of an unknown quantity out of Dortmund, has a good season for them. Can come in and maybe do a job as a backup, as a squad player. But Garnacho, that's the one that's still blowing my head top. Because yes, Jackson maybe lacked the physicality, and I don't think Jackson was the finisher that you needed. But he's a right sight better than Alejandro Garnacho. I'll give you that. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm just not a fan. I'm not a fan. I don't think Garnacho's it. But I also think that they bought him to raise his stake a little bit and then to sell him the same as they bought for Gittins. To raise his value a little bit and sell him, because that's what venture capitalists do. They invest in assets. They appreciate those assets in whatever way they deem necessary, and then they sell said assets for a profit. And that's is the main problem at Chelsea right now, is because that is the model, and winning the Champions League or the Premier League is not
Well,
the
the thing
model.
that also to add to that, and it likely will never be addressed, and I rarely use the word never. And the reason I'm saying that is because they keep winning stuff, right? So because they keep winning stuff, the board is like, but we win. Like, every time
Absolutely.
we get in a competition, we win something. So why would I need to
He
do
set
that?
it
Hey,
up here.
manager, go fill it out, figure it out.
He set it up here.
Yeah, but I
Literally
mean,
said it right
it's
here.
more than the Club World Cup. And then they because they won the other competition, they were in the what was the Conference League? What did they win?
The we were crap, and so we were demoted to the Conference League
Yeah.
tournament.
But I mean, think about they've won, and I mean, think about it. I remember, I think X might have sent the text, or somebody, maybe even Patrick, where it was, hey, there's a T-shirt where Chelsea is the only team that's won everything. They
Right.
count
Yeah.
those things, man. And and so this is where I kind of use the Arsenal comparison. Like, what I say, Arsenal's a better run team without the results, right? If Arsenal got the results that Chelsea got for the way they're run, then Arsenal would be somewhere completely different. You know what I'm saying? If you got the results that Chelsea got. And so on the other side of London, they're like, but we get results. And, this is the one where you can't argue back with them. You're like, you know what? They do. We don't love it. We don't like how it looks. We're not building towards anything. I mean, we're literally going to get, and you don't hear this term too much in football now, but we're only getting mercenaries. We're just getting the mercenary guys that just want to, get the payday or whatever and go from there.
Yeah, I hear it. We never constantly look for our nines. It's always Enzo Palmer and Neto getting the most attention in the final third. Our fullbacks don't cross the ball often. We are better off not having Europe and focus on building an 11. Conference League glory gave us 10 a viewpoint of how ready our squad was for you. But I agree. And Champions League is showing you that this season, having to juggle such a, you're not able to rotate anymore like you were in the Conference League, and
They have
while
14,000 players, though.
yes, but we're
That's
seeing
a joke.
that.
It's a joke.
But we're seeing that, their B team and their C team and their D team are maybe not at the level, at the quality that they
But
need
we
to
knew
be.
that. But we knew that.
But not even, not even when they bring in the next line of guys, because that performance against Cardiff was horrendous.
I mean, but when do they practice? Because they don't practice with the team. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no
They got a
manager
separate
practicing.
bus.
And they're over at another practice facility doing whatever it is they do, right? Because there's no way they're all there together. So
Yeah, I hear it.
you get what you get there, man.
I hear it. But I'm certainly, I know you have a game before this one, so we're not going to go too in depth on a preview here. But I'm also looking forward to the game on Sunday, where Chelsea is at the Etihad Stadium. And I know Weira's probably going to tell me not to expect any kind of help whatsoever, but just a draw, man. Just take a point. Take a point.
Well, I have no comment because
The
that
Chelsea are in the mud. Yep, absolutely they
the
are.
next
Eric.
game is against Sunderland, so I don't even know.
Yeah, you're not even thinking about it.
I'm
Yeah.
not thinking about it at all.
Weir's asking me about Arteta. Here's the thing. For me, it
We've
has
had
to.
this combo, yes.
For me, there's a very difference between what I think and what I want and what I think. So, if Arteta wins any trophy this season, he stays. If he doesn't win a trophy this season, he's gonna stay because that's what the board absolutely love him. They are Arteta sexuals. Do not doubt that. Josh Kroenke absolutely loves him some Mikel Arteta. Pause. Personally, for me,
Is there a pause on that though? Go ahead.
for me, yes, 100% has to be the Premier League or the Champions League. Has to be. Has to be. Has to be, man. I'm sick of it. Yes, I want the Carabao because it adds momentum. Yes, I don't mind adding another FA Cup, but I need a Premier League, man. I need it.
Well, let me throw this in here because I hear the quote because I was talking about winning the first one. What if he wins? What if he wins the League Cup and the FA Cup? What if he just wins those two? He does a double.
The board will. Kroenke will.
Now, I'm talking about you because he's asked about the fans.
Yeah.
If he wins a double.
If he wins both of them, I'll let him slide. I will personally be like, all right, you can slide. But the board are keeping him regardless. That's my point, Weira. It doesn't matter what he does. The board will keep him. It doesn't matter. Like, he's not going to walk away from $15 million a year, and Kroenkes are not going to fire him, even if he doesn't win anything. As long as he makes Champions League, the money's there, so they don't give a crap.
Well, but see, like where it gets it, man, I'm telling you, because we've talked about. I've said
I would love a domestic double.
But I'm talking about the domestic double of the League Cup and the FA Cup. That's a double, right?
That's the cup double. It's called a domestic cup double, and yeah, I'd be okay with that.
So that's different, right? Because the thing about it is,
agreed, 100%. Just like he spent $2 billion. He spent $2 billion, and they shouldn't be content with not challenging for the league after all the money they've spent.
But
and I agree with this as well. Yeah.
But going back to the point, they spent $1 billion, but they won the Club World Cup and they won trophies. So they still won trophies, though.
Yeah, we need to win them. Yeah, I agree 100%. Especially now that we're 2.5 games away from one of them.
Now, I'm saying this again because I do have the capacity to talk as a neutral, but I'm just being honest. If it's City in the finals there, then there's no way that I'm looking at you to win anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, we show up for finals, man. We absolutely.
We don't know what we do. We haven't made finals, so we don't.
We don't care.
We don't really know. Like Arteta's 1-1, or no, Arteta's.
He's only gone to one final.
He's 1 for 1. Yeah, he's only been to one final with Arsenal.
And if you thought he was an overthinker before, Jesus.
Jesus.
Yeah,
no, just play with us, team.
But I haven't brought the domestic double up yet. I'm glad the domestic cup double that was I had it in my head, but I was like, hey, that actually makes sense. Is that acceptable? Because then you have to think about it like as fans. Because then what you do, and I know it's not what you want, but you would shut people up if you won the FA Cup and the League Cup, right? Yeah. If he wins 2, they'd be like, okay, you didn't win the league in whatever years, but you did a double. Like if I was on the board, I actually would be. That's not what I want, but I'd be fine with that too because that's pretty significant.
No, it is. Yeah, it is. I take the FA Cup seriously, man. I don't think that the FA Cup is like some throwaway trophy or whatever, But is this from Eric? Are you asking Lewis this? You asking Naz this or me?
Oh, I don't have nerves about none of
I'm
this.
excited. I'm excited. He doesn't think we got it at all. He's Man City, bro. He doesn't. He's ready
I,
for it.
I don't know what final you're talking about because the next game is Sunderland. I don't have time to think about games that don't exist yet. Like why would I do that? Let me worry about a final when I get in the final. I'll answer that if it is about City. I still remember because we were talking about that. I still remember when City played the Champions League final, dude. I remember when City played Chelsea, but when we played the Champions League final against Inter, and everybody's like, "Oh, they absolutely should walk this," and I'm like, "Hey, man, Inter's good," and Inter was literally good in that game. And teams are different because I don't know if this is, but you get tensed up down there, and it gets a little tight back there in them games, man. And so you got to have guys who step up and come the moment, come the man, or whatever. I might have said it backwards, but anyways, it's different, and it's interesting because you never know what you get in the final. And I mean, even though I see the comment about plastic, I don't know how plastic, metal is, because I'm pretty sure silverware is the furthest thing from plastic. But, whatever it is, right? And that's there's been a pretty
Fair
good run
enough.
of metal, right?
Fair enough.
Plastic, hey man, you can take all the silver and plastic over whatever they want to plastic it over, but it's hard to get there, right? And people will say, the spending the money don't have nothing to do when you pooping diamonds, man. It don't have nothing to do with that when it's on the field and you got to win the game. And so this is why, I mean, we've had this conversation before about when they called the Carabao Cup the City Invitational. While people was like, that's a joke. Do you understand what it means when somebody goes into a tournament and they're like, you're going to win it? That means you're a winner.
Yeah.
Like literally, it means you're a winner. And there's no money to buy that. So yeah, you get $100 or whatever, £100 in a bottle of whatever the juice is. Yeah. But hey, man, my name got engraved on the trophy. I'm shaking the king or the prince's hand, and I have the gold medal. Yeah. Hey, man, however plastic that is, however whatever that is, when you get to the final and you win it, what else is there? And so, I think, Sunderland.
Yeah, I hear that. No, I definitely hear that. I can't be content with the top four meaningless postseason trophy like Club World Cup. I want a cup double this season. Reaching both would be overjoyed. The progress for a young squad, absolutely. See, that's the standard I'm talking about. But, because the club Chelsea still has the standard. Does the board?
No,
is the question.
But hold on. That thing about what was it? Where's the comment? Let me see if I can find it. What did it say? It was about the double. First of all, double what? I'm just curious about what double Chelsea's supposed to get, because I'm
double.
Not.
He says I want a cup double this season.
What the league?
The
cup?
One we were talking about, League Cup and FA Cup. That's what he wants.
So Chelsea want
Chelsea. That. Yes, that's
and they does he think they're gonna win? I mean,
no, he already said he doesn't think he's gonna beat us in the semi, but he wants to, of course.
And then the funny thing is that making a joke about the meaningless postseason trophy. But if Chelsea's job is to buy a player, sell a player, then what better way to showcase those people there to make your money? Like, that's literally how you do it. But then there's the comment about the young squad. We can't keep saying that. We've been saying Chelsea's been young for 3 years now.
Well, that's because they don't stop buying 18-year-olds. They just refresh their 18-year-olds.
We're not trying to hear that. We're not. But all these next 18-year-olds are supposed to be the next guys. I don't want to hear about young anymore, man. So I don't get that. And so the point about the Maresca winning stuff with the development squad, it's not because it's because there's organization, right? That's what I'm saying. If Arsenal got Chelsea's results and ran like Arsenal, it is what it is, right? And
absolutely, where the board will keep Arteta. Totally. It's not Berta's decision to fire Arteta. Yes, it's not all the Arteta FC show anymore, but Josh Kroenke loves Mikel Arteta. Why do you think after we didn't win anything at all, except for that FA Cup, We didn't win anything at all for the first 4 years. He's then been given a contract for $15 million a season. He's not going anywhere, man. And
No.
yeah, I agree with this. Eze and Gyökeres are clearly Berta signings. You know, they're going to give him more money to say it is what it is. That's why, like, yes, my head top blows off when things like the Declan Rice injury happen, because I think Arteta has mismanaged the squad as far as time and minutes and all of this. And, it really gets me upset. And I think that he has a mentality issue, and I don't think he's necessarily the guy that's going to win the Champions League, is going to win us Premier League and go into a dynasty that we have the potential to maybe go on into. No, I don't think that he is the guy, but Josh Kroenke does. Josh Kroenke, the guy who makes the decision on Arteta's contract, the guy who says yay or nay, absolutely believes that Arteta is the guy. And so he's not going anywhere.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, but it's funny because I just don't understand. Well, I totally agree with this. Like, everybody's spending money, so I don't like, that's where the money thing is silly to me. I don't get that, right?
Yeah,
but
we've all spent billions at this point.
And so picking on the team that's successful while spending money, that just makes you sound like you're sour. And we'll just keep drinking the champagne out the silverware. But the people like they like undermining cups is crazy, man, because it's historic, right? People are not. Everybody's not winning a trophy. You know what I mean? Think about it. I say Roberto Mancini got sacked because he lost to relegated Wigan because they won the FA Cup. Tell me cups don't mean stuff, man. Stop it, man. Like, it means stuff. And so win the ones that are there. But what does he say? Was it from Partey to...
So this one he's saying, Partey to Gabriel, now Rice has made injuries and excuse to look towards when parting a season. I 100% agree. I 100% agree. That's why we're you should go look at what I posted after on X today. I lost my head on X today.
You think he's doing that?
Dude, what was the excuse last season? Why didn't we win the league last season?
I don't know.
Injuries.
Because of Liverpool. And
why didn't we win the league in 2023, 24 when we were blitzing everybody? Oh, Saliba got injured and we had to play Rob Holding at the Etihad. That's been the excuse. Is that what, man.
Now I don't pay attention to this stuff because you do know, like, City has injuries too, so I'm not following that at all. Like, is that what he's saying for real? Because everything has injuries.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, that's what's happening.
Is that what his line is? Is that what his line is on why?
Arteta, no. I don't think Arteta will ever actually come out and say those words, but yeah, I imagine he probably thinks that.
Well, that would be insanity because every team has injuries. So I'm not trying
to. Yeah, we're not gonna go. You know my thoughts. This is back on Chelsea. We'll never sign the experience needed for the squad to be competent enough to take on the bigger fish. Yeah, and that's what I was saying at the beginning of the segment. I think that the board, until the board decides to go in a different direction.
What experienced player wants to go to that? Like,
they have a core.
Now, come on, man. Like seriously. Like, say for example, let's use Wirtz for example, right? Wirtz was over in Germany, won the league, did amazing things. Why would Wirtz want to play there? It's literally chaos there. I mean,
it's a big club.
But it's chaos. Like,
big name, big paycheck.
No, but it's chaos. Like, he was the connection of, I want to play in a team that just, we don't even know who's going to be on the team. That's crazy, man. Like, if I'm an established player or a legit star, I don't want to play there. Not at Chelsea. So I mean, realistically, they know what brand they've created. Because, like, name I can't even think of any strikers that are, like, out there. But name
Victor Osimhen is the name that Chelsea fans are clamoring for.
And the thing is, why would he go there, right? Like, who's gonna feed him the ball? He don't know, right? Like, that's what I'm like. I mean, established guys. Like, and here's why I'm using it, because let's use City for example. Haaland went to City. And why did he go there? Because who did he know was putting food on his plate, man? Like, come on, man. Like, this is literally established structure. If I'm a big name guy and I know that I'm the next guy, and
Cole Cole Palmer's there, man.
But Cole left why?
Well, because he wasn't going to be playing at City, but Cole's the guy at Chelsea. He's the man.
I agree, but every city, name any city, talk to any City fan. Every City fan would have kept him.
Yeah.
It's not like they wanted him to go. And he went because he needed to get a chance because an established team, he wasn't beaten out. Like, think about it. De Bruyne just left last year. It would have taken Cole Palmer 3 years to overtake that. Was Cole going to wait 3 years for that? So he's not an established guy. So it's to their point about established guys. I'm talking about an established guy who's about to be a free agent. Hey, let's go there. And no, I just for Chelsea, like I get the point of them saying, yeah, the young guys, but if I'm an established guy, I don't know if I want to go there anyway.
But look at Mark Gahey. That's the other defensive replacement they're looking at. Who else is in for Mark Gahey? Man United, Liverpool. I hate you. So yeah, okay, never mind. The obvious answer is go to Man City. Yeah, great.
Because think about the establishment that's there. Think about what's established there, right? Because the thing about it is that there's a connection of, okay, the establishment of the team, but it's also a connection of who's my manager. Because that's the other thing we haven't even talked about, how Chelsea changed manager every 3 seconds, man. Like, if I'm an established star, why would I go there? There's no reason to go there.
He said go to Barca.
But here's the thing. Barca don't get rid of their managers all the time, and they cheat with the best of them. So because they pay off the referees just right, and here's the other thing that Barcelona does. Barcelona wins the league. They win their league. They win their league, and their stars, they know who's going to be there. I'm just saying, like, why would I go there?
Yeah, no, I hear it. Absolutely. Yeah, City and Chelsea bought their success. Everybody at some point didn't have the spending power. True, but Arsenal, you don't have it until you do. You know what I mean?
So Real Madrid bought their success too, right? Because I mean,
Arsenal bought their success in the 30s.
What are we talking about?
Arsenal bought their success in the 30s, man. We were the Bank of England club back in the 30s, man.
But the other thing about the money thing, real quick, is that there's teams that spend money and suck at it.
Yeah, that's fair. Fair. First few transfer windows under Arteta. Yeah, I agree. Not having defensive reinforcements is, I agree with that 100%. And we've shown that we've been able to cope with that. But it's the fact that it doesn't seem like Arteta has learned the squad management. There are things that I don't think he's necessarily learning, but if we win, papers over all of it, doesn't it? If we win, you can kind of put it all and start analyzing how it happened. And, the if is gone. You know what I mean? But, speaking of things that are gone, Manchester United have drawn Wolves, giving Wolves their third point, and United fans are clamoring for his head. Resign tonight. Sack him in the tunnel, I heard from this. Oh, my goodness. How do you give Wolves how do you let them draw at Old Trafford? That is just insanity. But you love to see it. Once again, another rival doing great things. I did not see this one coming in at all. I thought that obviously United were going to smash them like they did earlier. I think I saw that on X.
There's very few games that I'm like, hey, that team will win except when they play Wolves. So if you give Wolves any points, man, you really got to look at yourself and be like, hey, man.
You're bad. Yeah. I think I saw a stat on X glorifying Gabriel's highest scoring defender in your club's history. I think this aids Arteta in his mission to stay on at the club. Weird stat to celebrate. Man, that's all we do. We bring up weird stats to celebrate, dude. Did you know that we've got more points in the league in the last 2.5 seasons than anyone else? Well, who cares, man? Who cares about Gabriel, highest scoring defender?
Hey, the PR machine is no joke because, Jake, and we don't talk about this much on here, but like the PR machine of some of the Arsenal fans is insane when they said, hey, they would pick Saka over
Prime Bale. Man. That stuff's
Prime Bale.
You know what the difference is? Yes, Gabriel's great. I'm a huge fan. He cannot lace Tony Adams' boots. You know why? Trophies, baby. Silverware, doubles, cups, Premier Leagues. Yeah, man. Talk to me. Talk to me when this group has done that.
Or when people,
Then we can talk about saying, oh, this guy should be in that prime team and this guy can make it in that prime team. When we lift the silverware, then we'll talk about this guy's world class. Oh, this guy's as good as that guy. Then we'll talk. But until then, until we lift stuff, name me a team. Name me a team of almosts. Name me a second place squad where deservedly so their players are in talks of greatest teams, and we're looking at other treble winners, and we're looking at other Premier League winners and La Liga winners, and we're saying, oh, that guy gets in that team. It's ridiculous. We haven't won anything, and to say any of our guys are in the 11-12 Barca team or the 08-09, dude, it's clickbait, man. It's craziness. It's
so you're saying
craziness.
at the point that Declan Rice is better than Rodri in prime Rodri, or you wouldn't take Kevin De Bruyne? I can't. Either they're absolutely trolling or they're insane. It's only two things.
It's got to be insanity, man, because at the end of the day, it's about that name. It's about that one right there. It's not about Arteta. It's not about Bukayo Saka. It's not about Declan Rice. It's not about Gabriel. It's not about Thierry Henry. It's not about Dennis Bergkamp. It's about that.
But the fans said they would
right here that matters.
But they said they would take Arteta over Arsene Wenger.
They're idiots.
I mean, even though as a young person, I thought the team was named after him because he was old and. It's just named after him. He's the first manager ever,
Did you guys feel you robbed Wolves of a point, or was the W deserved? That was not deserved at all. Robbery. Abject robbery. Thanks for being here. We really appreciate you being here, man, and chit-chatting with us. Appreciate that. Man. Yes, we robbed Wolves. Daylight robbery of the Wolverhampton Wanderers. Arsenal surely did. Yep. There you go. Absolutely. 100% have to get over the line, and then we can have discussions on our players.
It's almost like that one day at a time thing matters. That's why I only know Sunderland's the next game.
Yes, absolutely. I really hope Sunderland has something for you. Newcastle have beaten Burnley 3-1. You expected that to happen, of course. Just seeing if anything else interesting here. Not really. West Ham got a good point versus Brighton. Everton beat Forest. Yep. You kind of expected that.
Yep. No surprises outside of the United Wolves.
Outside of United.
Bruno's out, right?
That's a massive blow for them.
That's why. Well, that's why they didn't win, because Bruno's worth one more goal for sure in this game. So yeah, they would have won if Bruno played.
Yeah, I can agree with that 100%. Obviously, I didn't get to watch the whole thing. I was
They shouldn't have needed Bruno to win the game, but
my attention elsewhere. Yeah,
for sure.
But of course, Sunderland and Man City, but also Brentford, Tottenham. I expect Brentford to win that one. Tottenham are not doing great. Liverpool Leeds. I'm going to have my eye on that. Of course. Oh, that's at 12:30 on New Year's Day. So I'll definitely be tuned in. I get to watch all of it, actually. Nice. So that will be a fun one. Hopefully Leeds got something for Liverpool, and then Fulham Palace should be fun as well. So there's still some festive fixtures. Of course, they're coming thick and fast. What do you say? What do you say, Nez? You beating Sunderland?
Well, we kind of talked about that.
We definitely covered that. He doesn't do predictions, but yeah.
But I can explain why I don't do predictions. I don't do predictions because when paper and the real game is different, right? Because my running gripe is Savinho, right? And I already have the prediction that Savinho's going to start, and he's literally a black hole on the side, whatever side of the field he's on, and so it kind of is. No, you're good. No
worries, bro. No worries, man. Thanks for being here.
Savinho's a black hole. But I did say I think Haaland and Foden, specifically Haaland, but I think Haaland and Foden will be up for it. I mean, there's no reason City should do any other thing but win, but it is what it is, because you get what you get.
Absolutely, this needs to stop. And I know who you're talking about. It was Igal who was putting it. Last year before the Real Madrid game, Igal Talks Football on YouTube. Go subscribe. Go show the channel some love. We're not talking shit here. He said he was talking about how some of our guys were getting in Madrid's combined 11. It was
what, last year Madrid's team or all time? What were we talking about? Like last year?
even last year, it was still kind of a ridiculous conversation. He
Well,
said
no,
there was like
he
he
had some
said, but then he
guys.
said there was like nine Arsenal players in
Oh
the
no,
in
not
the.
nine, but I
It
would
was
like
too
Rice was
much.
good enough to get
It
is
was
good
too
enough
much.
to get Madrid.
It was too much. But
You're
yeah,
just
we are. Thanks for being here. Yeah, of course, Eric. Thanks for being here as well, man. We certainly
like,
appreciate
comment, and subscribe.
everyone tuning in. Of course, smash up the likes. It's been a good one here tonight. Hype it up if you got any of those left. Of course, thanks for being here. Subscribe if you are new. We're definitely going to be back. Obviously, I'm going to have previews and match review of the Arsenal game versus Bournemouth. And we will be back next week as well. The year's kicking off great, so we'll be getting our regularly scheduled programming in, getting a good groove for all these games in January. I'm certainly excited. It's definitely been a good one. Thanks for being here. Hope y'all have a wonderful evening, and you will see us next time.